send our energy to. You can speak them silently or you can speak them aloud so that we can all hear. May we remember those who've been spoken, those accept. I've lost the last part. Or maybe not. I apologize. I lost the last two lines of St. Francis of Assisi. There must have been some resistance there. Okay. O Spirit of life, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me have sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine One, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand,
to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to another life.
Thank you for your patience. You know, patience is generosity also. Today, our responsive reading is a poem by Albert Rios. The words are found in your order of worship, in your insert, in your order of worship. And what I'd like to do today is a little bit different. What I'd like is, if you will grant me this, is that we respond to each other with this. So I'm going to ask the left side of the congregation to read with Barrett. That's that side over there. Left for me, not for y'all. That side over there. To read the plain text, and we will read the italicized text. I think the numbers are pretty equal, although we may need to speak up a little more. So I'll start by reading the title and the epigraph. And I'll get the larger print. When giving is all we have, one river gives its journey to the next.
We give because someone gave to us.
As we only get.
We give because giving has changed us.
We give because giving could have changed us.
We have been better for it.
We have been wounded by it.
Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet.
Big though small, diamond in wood nails.
Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too.
But we read this book anyway, over and over again.
Giving is first and every time, hand to hand.
Mine to yours, yours to mine.
You gave me blue, I gave you yellow.
Together, we are simple green. You gave me
what you did not have, and I gave you
what I had to give. Together, we made
something greater from the difference.
Thank you. It's not an accident that Barrett and I have chosen during the congregation's annual budget drive to focus on the UU shared value of generosity. And the language that we've used in the service, the language that you used for your poems, and the language in the chalice lighting is directly from Article 2, Section C, generosity. I think it's safe to say that Barrett and I are not often subtle. But pledges and offerings are how we keep the church running. And the annual ask for pledges is how we demonstrate hope. Because why would we give if we didn't have hope? Generosity is hope. I mean, some of us may have come through those doors in despair and out of hope, but to pledge means hope. Right? It's right? You're with me? You're with me? Pledging and generosity are hope. A commitment to the future, right? So, yes, the unsettled topic today in the midst of our ABD, which stands for Annual Budget Drive, is generosity. Get it? But Barrett and I, and the whole of UU, have a broader sense of generosity than, say, picking up the tab at happy hour, or putting meals in community fridges, or even tossing a few quarters in the Salvation Army bucket at Christmas time, which, by the way, don't do that. We don't all have the same values. It's about we, Barrett and I, and you, and probably you, have a much broader understanding of generosity, which we will explore today through the language of metaphor, allusions, images, and rhythm. And we hope that you pick up some nugget to take with you for hope and generosity. The poetry of generosity because sharing poetry is an act of generosity, and in a world of suffering and oppression and tyrants and austerity and greed, generosity is resistance. So I think Dwayne has written a poem this week for us.
First of all, when I grabbed the little thing out of the basket, I got generosity. And she asked me to do a poem, and I said, what about a haiku? Because a poem just seems too involved. And over there, okay. Up here? Okay. All right. And so I worked on something all week and kind of forgot to do it, and then she said, did you do your haiku? And I, within 5 minutes, just came up with this. And it's so simple, but it seems, generosity, sometimes we give it away. Isn't that the point?
You read things again and it makes you fall in love all over again. Even in prose, Walt Whitman writes poetry. These words are from the preface of the first edition of Leaves of Grass. This is what you shall do. Love the earth and sun and the animals. Despise riches. Give alms to all those who ask. Stand up for the stupid and the crazy. Devote your income and labor to others. Hate tyrants. Argue not concerning God. Have patience and indulgence towards the people. Take off your hat to nothing, known or unknown, or to any man or number of men. Go freely with powerful, uneducated persons, and with the young and the mothers of families. Read these leaves in the open air, every season of every year of your life. Re-examine all that you have been told at school or church or in any book. Dismiss whatever insults your own soul, and your very flesh shall be a great poem and have the richest fluency, not only in its words, but in the silent lines of its lips and face and between the lashes of your eyes and in every motion and joint of your body.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Boss, for any of y'all who don't know me. And I want to thank Beverly for inviting me to participate. It's been a little while since I've been up here. I used to do it a lot. So for me, poems are both spiritual scriptures and spiritual practice. And this is one of my most favorite poems in the world. And I happened to discover it at a time when it really hit home. The aspect of generosity that it addresses is compassion or kindness. And the poet describes a journey through loss towards a radical empathy for the shared sorrow of the world that leads to a deep and spiritual state of kindness and compassion. So I hope you enjoy it. It's Kindness by Naomi Shihab Nye. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. what you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go, so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop, the passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out in the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend.
I will start with a poem that Amy Wing sent me because she can't be here today. And she sent me it as like a screenshot, so there's not a title on it. But I think it's by someone named Angel Michelle Deneau. And it goes like this. I am told there are some whose purpose is to be witness to nature, that there is no obligation other than to see and be in awe. These are placeholders, oh so necessary for the future of nature. Shall I share, said I. Share or share not, it matters not, said they. Make me strong, said I. Duh, done, said they, long, long ago.
This poem is Small Things by Anna Kazumika, and it just sort of describes to me how generosity works. Small things. It usually starts taking shape from one word, reveals itself in one smile, sometimes in the blue glint of eyeglasses, in a trampled daisy, in a splash of light on a path, in quivering carrot leaves, in a bunch of parsley. It comes from laundry hung on a balcony, from hands thrust into dough. It seeps through closed eyelids as though the prison wall of things, of objects, of faces, of landscapes. It's when you slice bread, when you pour out some tea. It comes from a broom, from a shopping bag, from peeling new potatoes, from a drop of blood, from the prick of a needle, when making panties for a child, or sewing a button on a husband's burial shirt. It comes out of toil, out of care, out of immense fatigue in the evening, out of a tear wiped away, out of a prayer broken off in a mid-word by sleep. It's not from the grand, it's from every tiny thing that it grows enormous, as if someone was building eternity as a swallow its nest out of a clump of moments.
This poem is called Elderly Woman Falls Asleep on My Shoulder by the Palestinian poet Mohammed El-Kurd. Elderly woman on the bus falls asleep on my shoulder. No adjectives in the wind. Her whistles asleep are choppy. Her lungs, I assume, were embroidered with screams grainy and grayed. Her phone wakes her up. Her waking up awakens me, makes me aware of my pocketed indulgence. Alert, she asks, "Where are we?" Right before the checkpoint, I say. She responds, "Thank you." Through her scarf, I see the wall. It exiles her livelihood, selling figs behind a 2-hour something bus ride, travel permits, searching and questioning, tessellated behind bars, into other bent bodies, waiting. Elderly woman on the bus gets up, her plastic bags filled with 70 mountains and a river. I offer a hand. She is concerned about my spine. Women like her have spined me. I insist, "Let me help you, please." She wants to carry 35 mountains. I tell her, "No, I've got both." Bags, not as heavy as they seem, not as heavy as she's lived. We exit the bus, walking toward the military barrier. Under occupation, walking feels barefoot. Here, walking feels like attempting to run in water. The soldier, blonde and sunburnt, asks for her permit. My permit's these wrinkles, older than your country's existence. My smile is a sun. The soldier, accented and un-Hebrew, asks her what's in the bag. "Figs, bitch. What else you want to know?" I stuff them with storms and bombs and blows. My smile a gloat. I know she had a gun someday, hidden in a wheat bag, and I know she hid freedom fighters in her closet. Warrior woman, Zatar diva, she may have hid in her closet too. Elderly woman and I pass the checkpoint. Violent vowels in the wind. Her back hunched. Her spine spined me. She takes the bags from my hands. "Thank you. My daughter is waiting to pick me up. May God protect you and the youth around you." And before my breath could take a seat, she walked away as if she once knew purple shrouds.
I'd like to say that sometimes Barrett and I coordinate our poems. We did not this time, but something did. So this poem reminds, I was hoping some of our grannies, NOLA grannies ladies would be here today because this poem, you'll see it, made me think of them. The grannies, NOLA grannies are the people that go to the bus station and bring mittens and blankets and snacks for immigrants traveling through. This is by Neil Gaiman, and he wrote it for the United Nations Commission for Refugees in 2019, their winter emergency appeal to help Syrian refugee families survive their 8th below freezing winter away from home. What you need to be warm: a baked potato of a winter's night to wrap your hands around or burn your mouth, a blanket knitted by your mother's cunning fingers or your grandmother's, a smile, a touch, a trust as you walk in from the snow or return to it, the tips of your ears pricked pink and frozen. The tink, tink, tink of iron radiators waking in an old house, to surface from the dreams in a bed, burrowed beneath blankets and comforters. The change of state from cold to warm is all that matters, and you think, just one more minute snuggled under here before you face the chill. Just one. Places we slept as children, they warm us in the memory. We travel to an inside from the outside, to the orange flames of the fireplace or the wood burning in the stove, breath ice on the inside of windows, to be scratched off with a fingernail, melted with a whole hand. First, on the ground that stays in the shadows waiting for us. Frost on the ground in the shadows that's waiting for us. Wear a scarf, wear a coat, wear a sweater, wear socks, wear thick gloves. An infant as she sleeps before us, a tumble of dogs, a kindle of cats and kittens. Come inside, you're safe now. A kettle boiling on the stove. Your family or friends are there. They smile. Cocoa or chocolate, tea or coffee, soup or toddy. What you know you need, a heat exchange. They give it to you. You take the mug and start to thaw, while outside, for some of us, the journey began. As we walked away from our grandparents' houses, away from the places we knew as children, changes of state and state and state, and stumble across a stony desert or brave the deep waters, while floods and friends, home and a bed, even a blanket, become just memories. Sometimes it only takes a stranger in a dark place to hold out a badly knitted scarf, to offer a kind word, to say, we have the right to be here, to make us warm in the coldest season. You have a right to be here.
This is from Nikki Giovanni. How to Save the World in 100 Words. For me, it is the realization that I cannot save the world. The world is neither time nor money. For me, it is the thing in front of me, the man in prison for a horrible crime who has become my brother, my neighbor's son who talked football to me over the back fence, the yellow jackets who have made their home by my deck. All the things I say I don't have time to do, but really, I don't have time to don't do. For me, it is the joy of being alive. For me, it is the living. I clocked this in at 99 words. I wonder what I missed.
Self-love is generosity too, don't you think? Self-care. You know, it'd be nice to live in a place with community care, and we try. But sometimes you just have to be generous to yourself. This is by Derek Wolcott, Love After Love. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile to the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all of your life. When you ignored for another who knows you by heart, take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life.
I think we're running out of time, so I'm just going to read the last stanza of this poem by Khalil Gibran. And I have a copy of it, so if y'all want to read the rest, you can. But the poem Beverly just read made me think of this. And you, receivers, you are all receivers. Assume no weight of gratitude. Lest you lay a yoke upon yourself and upon him who gives. Rather rise together with the giver on his gifts as wings. For to be over-mindful of your debt is to doubt his generosity, who has the free-hearted earth for mother and the divine for father.
We're going to end with another Walt Whitman poem. Walt Whitman was a most generous poet, so that fits. And I want y'all to know that I have been practicing this first word all week. The title is Song of the Open Road. Allons! The road is before us. It is safe. I tried it. My own feet have tried it well, but not detained. Be not detained. Let the paper remain on the desk unwritten. Let the book on the shelf unopened. Let the tools remain in the workshop. Let the money remain unearned. Let the school stand, mind not the cry of the teacher. Let the preacher preach in his pulpit. Let the lawyer plead the case and the judge expound the law. Camarados, I give you my hand. I give you my love more precious than money. I give you myself before preaching or law. Will you give yourself? Will you come travel with me? Shall we stick by each other as long as we live? Okay. The poems we read today remind us of our shared value of generosity. As you use, we agree to cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We understand that generosity is a spiritual discipline that connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. We can practice our act of giving either by putting our gift in the offering plate, or you can look on the back of your order of worship and follow that QR code and do it digitally. Gifts to this community of faith are gratefully received. Let us acknowledge these gifts by reading together the words in your order of worship. This gift from the abundance of my life blesses me, our ministries, and the world.
Giving in the offering plate and pledging are part of how we steward this congregation. There are countless other ways to serve, build community, and share our love with the rest of the city. Today I have 2 opportunities to talk to you about today. So, one is we are going to be having small groups to talk about visioning. You've been hearing a lot about this. Maybe if you haven't, visioning is us talking about who we want to be as a congregation and what is like the work that we want to be doing. So we're going to be having small groups of like 6 to 10 people to discuss questions about that. So in the back of the sanctuary, there are some clipboards with some sign-up sheets for those groups. You'll see there are different dates. We tried to have a variety of locations, weeknights, weekends, etc. So hopefully you can find one that works for you. Our goal is to have every member sign up for one of the groups. So there's also a sheet that says, none of these work for me. And you can put your name on that and tell me why. If you're not a member and you're like, that sounds interesting, but I'm not a member, can I come? I think the question to ask yourself is, are you invested in the future of this congregation and want to be part of shaping it? Then yeah, you're totally welcome. So that's that. You will also be getting an email from me to be able to sign up for those virtually if you need to think about it or whatever. But if you're here now, I would love for you to sign up before you leave today on one of those pieces of paper. Then the other thing that's coming up is Christmas tree sales. Everybody's favorite time of year. So if you don't know, we have a big Christmas tree sale in like late November, early December, and pretty much everyone volunteers in some way, gets involved. It's like our biggest fundraiser of the year. It's super fun, and volunteer signups have begun. So in your insert, in your order of service, there's a announcement with a QR code that you can scan to sign up. If you hate QR codes, there are also sign-up sheets in the back of the chapel. There's only paper sign-up sheets for the first like couple of days, but I think if you want to sign up for a different day and you don't want to use the QR code, we can find you the sign-up sheets for the rest. I think somebody here will have them. So those are our announcements. Please check out the 2 little long tables in the back of the chapel on your way to coffee and sign up for all of the things. And thank you for being generous with your time. And we look forward to doing all this with you. Now, please stand in body or spirit and join in our chalice extinguishing, which is written in your order of worship. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And please remain as you are for our closing hymn, which you will find in the gray hymnal, number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
remain as you are for just a second on the road from greed to giving. This church is a place in our hearts. And whether and the way we live our lives, whether we are here or elsewhere, we bring and share the spirit of love and life. Will you give yourself? Will you come travel with me, with Barrett, with the rest of us? Shall we stick by each other as we go forward and live? This church, when it was formed, was known as the Strangers Church. Please make friends today and have coffee. Turn and greet your neighbor and your new friend, and then afterwards have coffee or tea or snacks or good conversation. Thank you for being here. We have hope.